All right, thank you. I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, July 28th meeting of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority. Open meeting law states that pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. I'd like to start with a roll call. Joe Marshall here.
Joan Medeiros here.
Louis Gonzalez here.
John Erickson here.
Ann Keane here.
Okay, and also participating in today's meeting is Sarah Page, our Executive Director, and John Coughlin, our Counsel, and then Ken Fiola, Administrative Services Consultant. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the open session meetings from June 30th, 2021. Is there any additions, deletions, or a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes of the open session from June 30th, 2021.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so moved. Next item is the warrants and financial report. Take a look. Everyone's received them. I've received them. Are there any questions on the information provided in the warrant? All right, hearing nothing, does someone want to make a motion to approve the warrant as presented?
I move we approve the disbursements for the July warrant.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so moved. Next item, a brief financial report. Do you have
Great. Yeah, well, I just wanted to update you on a few financial issues. We are going to be returning to the audit now that Paula is here, and she and I are going to tear forward with the accountant, and the accountant is happy that she's back from vacation and happy that we'll be working with her on that. We're going to be sending in the paperwork to secure the Seaport Economic Council grant of $1 million that you received, that you were awarded, and we just need to go through the paperwork, and they're expecting that this summer. They had not wanted it until the state fiscal year began. And over the next 9 months, we'll be expending the $1.6 million that the Redevelopment Authority allocated from the authority's own funds for CD Pier. And I just wanted to go through how that looks at this point. With a bid of $1.4 million approximately, with a contingency which, could be 5% of $120,000 or could be higher, and the bill that Beta has, or the amendment that Beta has proposed, that's going to come to around $1.8 million. And so I just wanted to mention that unlike our typical financial situation, we will be paying enormous bills every month starting in October. We'll have a bill in September from the contractor, but I imagine that they will get very large during their intense period of construction through December. And so your warrants will look very different. And we know that we'll be working very closely with Beta to make sure that all of the construction that they are billing for has occurred. And so there's a whole very careful process on that. but we will be going into a different period financially, and I just wanted to mention that.
Let me ask, on the grant, okay, obviously, we're doing the seed money. When is that expected? When will they make payment, the state?
I think she made it sound like it would be the fall.
Okay, yeah, it won't be done by then.
What were you thinking?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I
right.
had no idea. And the other,
Maybe, I'm not sure. I
What?
haven't done this before. I'm not sure if it's a reimbursable grant.
oh, there you go, see, that's,
You may want to have,
Huh.
you may
Yeah.
put money in front, provide them with the documentation, and then they
Yeah.
reimburse
Yeah.
you. So-
can you clarify that?
I
or
will
do you know?
clarify that, because I had not understood that.
But unless they change them, that's what
Yeah.
it used to be.
No, we should know that anyway.
Yep,
Just for cash flow.
yeah.
And you
sure.
also mentioned there was an amendment or revised bill from Data?
Oh, no, I was just saying the amendment that you're going to discuss
Oh, okay.
later in the agenda. If you were to approve that 239,000, and if they expended all of that, which, you know, they probably will have more expenses in the spring, we're
Well-
looking in the range of 1.8
Well,
million.
let me ask on the 239, is there a list of the services provided?
Yeah, that's in that huge
Yeah.
amendment that
Good.
went out to
Yeah,
everybody.
well, I'm looking at it, yeah.
And so we can talk about that.
Is it on the agenda anywhere, or is this is the place?
Yes. Next item.
Okay, well, why don't we segue into that, because it doesn't require any vote right now.
Right.
But will, okay, why don't we do that?
Great. So if you remember the amendment that we received back in, for our last meeting was significantly higher than this.
Yeah.
We've gotten it down to 239. We worked with them, really convincing them that we were ready to use a much less experienced site engineer. And so we have our construction observation down to 70,000. And they had at one point thought maybe they needed to project them at more than 8 hours a day. And we checked with MAS Building and Bridge, and they said, no, they really are gonna be working pretty much 8-hour days. So this is showing someone there 40 hours a week during construction and working closely with the construction administration to make sure that everything is going smoothly out at the site. And they did not really reduce other line items. That was pretty much the area that we had been really concerned about, and they agreed to reduce.
What convinced them, in your opinion? What convinced them to reduce it?
We did.
Okay, all right. All right, no.
We told them that, that we knew that they had high-level consultants and staff going out there supervising a lot of the work, and that we didn't think we needed more than a junior engineer. And Ken had spoken strongly to that
Good.
point at our last meeting, and so I just kept talking with them about that was really what we were thinking.
Ken,
But-
did you get a chance to see the amendment?
So she sent it to me earlier.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's a coordination.
So I didn't meet with Beta, Sarah probably did for the
Yeah.
most part. The only not question or concern, but you got construction administration for 81,000, and then you get a whole bunch of construction administration specialized support services. I don't know what the construction administration consists of 81,000. And that's, I don't know if we can get a breakdown of that.
Yeah, could we?
Only because you got your on-site at 70,000, but construction and administration Is that processing of shop drawings, that sort of stuff?
That sort of stuff, supervising the site person, and, you know, they're a construction manager at a pretty high hourly rate, and they will,
Yeah, they listed it, but they didn't list the values.
That's what I'm saying, this 81,000 just seems to be like an awful amount, a high amount for that.
Well, and especially if we don't know exactly what it's for.
okay.
And I didn't want a duplication of effort either, so,
Because under task 3, you have more specific breakdowns of
Correct.
administration and the specialized support services. So to me, it's almost like they're overhead on this thing, you know, and they're saying, I don't know.
Well, it's detailed under task 1, that construction administration, construction manager. And
detail? I don't see
did
it.
that not seem,
To me, again,
Oh, it's-
81,000, you know, administrative reconstruction meeting, monthly progress reports,
That's it.
you know, shop drawings, site visits, responses to contract, that's a lot of money. Because especially, we're only talking about, they're going to get, what are we looking at, 6 months?
Yeah.
6 or 7 months?
Yeah, yes.
and this really is just for the 4 months of intense work.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's
This
just for
doesn't
4 months.
include-
I was giving them 5.
This
Okay.
doesn't
That's even more
include,
problematic. Yeah.
well, it does, it's 5 because they're working now. They've
Sure.
been working in July and they'll be working in August, and then we have that 4 months of intense construction period, and then we come back in the spring for some planting and landscaping.
Sarah, can I ask a question? I don't have it in front of me, but I did look at the proposal earlier. Is it, the numbers are allowances and
Yes.
it's going to be billed hourly, but I didn't see anywhere, it's not to exceed fee, right? There's no language in there that
No.
this is not to exceed. So that's my one concern, is that we've been given allowances, but it could go higher than that
Yeah.
too. So I don't know if, was there any mention of that?
Well, what Mary Lou and I agreed is that we would review it monthly and
Okay.
really analyze where we are. I
Yeah.
mean, they're saying that they're worried that the junior engineer might not be strong enough and experienced enough to deal with this site, and that they might want to bring one in that's more expensive. And we don't think that's going to be the case. So that would be an area where it could go up if
Right.
they convinced us they needed to do that. But we had agreed that we would monitor it intensely over that month, each month.
Yeah, it's gonna be billed hourly, but it's just, there's no maximum, like, those
Yeah.
fees aren't being told to us as a maximum fee. So it could go, it could be lower, it could be higher, it's just,
So the other thing, so usually
Thank you, Ann.
on construction management services, it's not uncommon to have an independent construction manager as opposed to have an architect who did the plans and you
Right.
monitor, right? So when I see something like, you know, the coordinate with designs under administration, coordinate with design staff in preparing preliminary sketches and supplementary sketches as necessary to address unforeseen field conditions and resolve problem. That's their issue. Unforeseen field, their plans, that's what we're working off of. So we shouldn't be charged for these things unless they're really, if they're egregious, then the design is wrong. Right?
Well, I mean, you can dig into the ground and find unexpected.
Well, that's not the intent.
Let me just be
Sure.
clear about this.
Yeah,
We shouldn't be digging below 3 feet.
Right, that's true.
3 feet is the cap.
that's
Yeah.
true.
There's nothing in that cap that we're gonna encounter that's problematic.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
So there's no unforeseen conditions, because if they're digging below 3 feet, then that's a whole other issue, right? I'm not saying that that may not occur with some utility connection, but, so I just say, I think there's, you know, again, I would just see if we can press back on it just a little bit, and I'll be happy to have that, sit in on that meeting. and press.
Okay.
There's just duplication on some of it.
Yeah, we saw
Task
that.
one has things, task two, but I don't know, maybe there's a reason for that.
I don't know.
What do you think this number should be?
I think the number, in my opinion, so the LSP services you have to have, right?
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
right.
I'm not sure what landscape architecture support services are.
Well, once it's done, right?
I don't know, what's $23,000 for that, right?
Oh, is that the irrigation system, I think?
But what, we're paying the plans and specs of irrigation in it, right?
Right, but they think they need someone out there.
Well, that's not the hardscape then? That's not the
Yeah,
hardscape itself?
No, that's what it's included.
But why would we pay, so we designed a set of plans and there's irrigation in there. Why would we be paying $23,000 to oversee the installation of the irrigation?
And there'll be some oversight by the design team
Some, but
to make
that's,
sure that things are being built to
but that's
plan.
why you have your resident engineer on site.
Right.
Your resident engineer
But
is
there will probably be some.
a little bit, but not,
Yeah,
I don't
I
think,
don't know if it's up to that amount.
that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So if your resident engineer is your eyes and your ears on site.
Right.
And then think if there's questions or need for clarification, then you bring in the ancillary services.
Right.
But to me, I just don't know about that. And, sub-consultant, I don't know who Aqueous Solutions are and McClanahan and Associates are.
Sub-consultants.
Yeah.
See, it was important from the start of this project that we come in under budget, and we're still pushing and pulling. And what's gonna come up, as an example, what's gonna come up is whether or not we approve this, this contract as amended. And I don't know if we're prepared to do that right now, without further discussion.
Right now, you're at 1.6 is your contribution, right?
Correct.
The thing's at 2.4,
Yep.
right? If you do a 5%, which is a low contingency,
Right.
but let's say it's 5%. So 5% of 2.6 is 130,000. So now you are at what? You're at 253, plus another couple $100,000 here, so you're at 2.7. And if you're at a 10% contingency, you'd be at 2.8 and change, right? So
Yep.
just going into these things, I think we gotta figure out where we are.
Well, Aquatious Solutions is the irrigation system.
Yeah.
And so they think that they need to monitor how it goes in with that sub-consultant. And then the other is the electrical consultant.
So that means that their stuff on site is not experienced.
Right, he's a junior engineer,
But
he's
isn't
not
it-
the,
A junior engineer is going, we're going to run a conduit from point A to point B. And
yeah,
then we're going to run from B to C, and it's going to be at a certain depth, and there's going to be different heads located in this thing. Paying to have a sub-consultant out there to oversee that, this is not, unless, man, you know this better than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they will
To do
probably
the right
come
thing.
at different points just to make sure it's being done to design. And they'll have in-house, they're probably reviewing shop drawings and stuff.
Yeah,
So
shop
that's
drawings.
part of.
Yeah, shop
part of
drawings,
their-
but again, your resident engineer should be able to do the basic stuff.
Yeah, they should be reading the drawings and making sure that what it's being put
And
in
a
the
placement of,
way,
a
yes.
placement of an irrigation system is not, shouldn't be that complicated, that you'd have to bring in support.
Right, and as a junior engineer, I'd like to think he has some experience.
So a
or
junior
she has
engineer
some
is a
experience.
professional engineer,
That's
it's a
what I'm
registered
saying.
engineer. right?
Yeah,
Right.
So my question is,
Yes.
if we went with the senior engineer, would he be able to cut out all of task 3?
no,
No.
they had a higher level person in there and all of these costs were the same.
But if you go and read what they say in like 3.3, right, so we go back to 3.3, they're reviewing it and support services of all these things, and isn't that what we're doing in the ones prior? Like, isn't that what task 2 is, on site?
I think
Yeah,
like
let's-
Ann was saying, I think what this is saying, if I understand correctly, is if they need to bring in bigger guns, like Eric needs to come in and make sure they're planting bulbs right or something, I don't know. It sounds like that's what it is. Like, it seems like they're sort of they're trying to cover all the potential issues here.
Yeah, their allowances.
Because there's a lot of duplication.
Exactly, but at $23,000 for landscape support, architectural support services, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Well, if you look
Well,
at their
to
hourly
you-
rates, you get there pretty quickly.
Yeah, when you say that, you know, they're taking the time, but if you're hiring professional people to do the job, oversight should be secondary. You shouldn't have to stand over them to do their job.
Right.
What are we gonna make?
Plus, all
Yeah.
your plans are warranted for a year anyway,
Yeah.
right? So if you're planting, if you're not appropriate, so I think what they're trying to do is hold off the planting till the spring.
Right.
So
That's
they're not-
fine.
Well, which makes sense, we're not forcing them in during the non-planting season, so it should be an easier task.
Yeah.
to get them done. But, I don't know, it's just, I think we should probably, I don't know if these are, because all these, the question is, how much are these consultants? And what's the markup on top of these consultants?
And do we need them?
Right. So if I'm hiring a consultant, and then I'm adding the surcharge on top of the consultant,
Yeah.
right, is this, how much of this 27,000? Well, I gotta think the LSP services are being done by them, right? 'Cause they're environmental.
I hope so, yeah.
But these other ones, how much is this 3.5 or 12.5? What's the cost of that? And what's the markup of it?
Sarah, do you think it would make sense to maybe if we did up a list of questions?
Yeah, probably we
Yeah.
can put the questions ahead and then we see if we can get this thing down.
Yeah,
I
don't,
agree.
I don't believe we're in a position to approve the amendment as it is, just because of those questions we have.
So, Ken, you want to be involved in that discussion? Johnny, do you want to be?
Yeah, because I'm just writing down some questions.
And you're curious, yeah.
Because,
I mean, we won't hold anything up. I mean, once the questions are answered and we can have a quick meeting just for this one purpose. But I think there's too many unanswered questions. And the answers may be sufficient. They may be fine, but we just don't have them right now.
right. Okay.
So the tasks 1 through 4, do you guys think that that's chronological order, or it's just different categories? 'Cause it just seems like a lot of it's the same thing.
Some of things would overlap.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I would think by now that Beta would understand how frugal we are and want to work with us to get it done.
Yeah.
To get it done. So I would, and I think we should put it in the form of a motion if we're not going to be taking this, endorsing this contract amendment as it is. But I'd entertain a motion that, and Johnny, or anybody that wants to,
See that, just, again,
yeah,
3.2. So, in their proposal, so you have on-strike construction administration and on-site construction observation. Then you go to 3.2. The work is anticipated to be performed on portions of the project related to stormwater utilities and railing system in the form of review, reject, approve, processing of specialized submittals. But isn't that what they do?
I was going to say that you don't even have to put it in there.
That's what they're supposed to be doing as part of the overall.
Well, you've just added really to the questions,
Yes.
Kenny, really.
Right.
But
If they're going to charge us for every submission, and to me, I don't know, a project.
Well, they're going to charge by the hour, by the level of person based on this list of hourly rates. And so, you know, they're going to be giving us detailed bills, which they do now, which show every single amount of time for every person and what their, you know, what their roles are. So
yeah.
they do break it out really well, and if we're monitoring it monthly, we would have a good sense of where we're standing.
Right.
Right.
But under construction administration, 1.2, review and approve or reject product manufacturer's information shop drawings. And then they're charging us again for shop drawings.
Well, under specifically civil engineering.
No, yeah, but there shouldn't be a difference.
Well, you might need to bring
Right.
a civil engineer in for specific issues.
Maybe. But see, I want to feel comfortable going in.
Uh-huh,
I don't want to feel comfortable or look for reassurance every month.
yep.
I don't want to look for reassurance every month. I want to get comfortable going in. And I think we need to have that discussion. So you can accompany Sarah, and just to go over the amendment, something that's acceptable to the board. John, you want to be part of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then if anybody else wants to, just tell Sarah. But we'll table that on the agenda until we get some clarification and agreement on what we should do going forward. Is there a motion to that, or do I need a motion for that?
I think I would just do a motion to table it.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to table that?
Motion to table the contract amendment.
Okay, Joan first, and second, John?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Thanks for that discussion, actually. Next item is, application for credit card.
So I've talked with Joan and Joe about applying for a credit card. We've talked with Bay Coast Bank. We have an application, and we would like to go ahead and apply for the credit card with Joe as signing for it, and with Paula and I as each having cards and the ability to purchase on it.
Okay.
And that would allow us to buy things without putting it on our own,
Credit card,
yeah.
yeah. Is there a motion to
We already
accept
did
that?
that.
Yeah, I did too,
Well,
but we didn't.
Well, we talked about it, and we ran into difficulties getting Bay Coast to really answer our questions, and so I thought I should bring it to the board.
Good idea.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a motion to do that
I
from
move
someone?
we applied, we're going to apply to Bay Coast
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the credit card.
All right. Is there a second to that?
Question though, what are we doing for a limit?
I was thinking that. I was hoping it'd come up.
I don't know. Do you have those were the kinds of things I
Well, what
thought-
type of things would you use a credit card for?
Well, so one of the next items is purchasing furniture.
Correct.
And we were thinking we would purchase office supplies, certainly. I would imagine for furniture, that's a lot more than you probably, it may be more than you want the limit to be.
That is correct,
So we
yeah.
would have to think about that and maybe bring a check.
Right, I think you can do that if you shop for furniture and you get what you want, and it stays within the limit there, then just pay for it that way. But I was thinking maybe 2,500 or 2,000 for the credit card?
2,500.
2,500?
Mhm.
Okay. So the motion's amended to include the amount of 2,500, John? Yeah? Joan?
Yep.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, good. So we'll do that. The next item is to purchase office furniture.
Mhm.
We've talked about that, too.
We have. So we're looking at a place right down the street from us as one option.
Yeah, I told
business
you about
furniture
that,
outlet.
the place, the outlet down in the...
Yep. And I like to buy office furniture that's secondhand, that, you can get really good,
Broken in, yeah.
yeah. Well, you can get really good things at a huge
No.
discount. So we want to do it as inexpensively as we can, but we really need a couple of desks, potentially with credenzas or hutches, and we also need a bookcase. And so I'm wondering if we can have a maximum of 5,000 that we could work with, hoping that it would come in at less than that.
Any discussion on that item, and if there's,
Just have a question.
yeah,
Did we get a bid for that?
Anything under 10 is sound business practice.
right.
3 quotes or just?
0 to 10 is sound business, and 10 to 50 is the.
There you go. Thank you, John.
Because we want to be able to go and test out chairs and,
Yeah, I just didn't know. If it
Yeah.
was-
It doesn't hurt to get a couple of
Because there are different organizations like CDA, you can't, it's not 0 to 10, it's, you gotta bid everything.
Well, from a due diligence perspective, maybe you do check. I mean, you don't really have to,
Yeah.
but it's good to come back to us and say, hey, we're buying these, and these are the reasons we're buying them, because we went here and here.
so you want us to come back in August?
No, you won't have to come back. Well, I think we'll approve it contingent on you doing that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
So,
Use your own judgment.
so making comparisons to other suppliers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. But you would have the authority to do it, because you're still gonna, when we ask the question, you're still gonna answer the question that you got the right thing. So is there, that being said, with those conditions, is there a motion to approve that?
A motion to approve purchasing office furniture with a maximum budget of $5,000.
Correct. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Ann. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. Next item is Innovation Way property.
So we received a request from the owner of 3336 Innovation Way in Freetown, which we all know as the Mungin property. And that was originally purchased, then it was sold to DevCon Innovation Way LLC, and they now want to sell it to, I'm not positive I'm saying his name right, but Messias Pedro, or his nominee, who is an owner of several gas stations. So and manages them. So it would be sold to someone with experience in what they're trying to do. In the board package, you saw plans that show that DevCon reduced the footprint on the property and took it from 3 buildings to 2 buildings. So it's now envisioned as a gas station, convenience store, and another building which would probably be a restaurant. And so we have a certificate that John developed that would be recorded if you want to approve the transfer from DevCon to this new owner. And are there any questions about that?
No, I don't have any. No? Is there a motion to approve that?
I move we approve.
Okay.
Second.
The way the motion, I think, should read, approve the sale and transfer of 3336 Innovation Way from DevCon Innovation Way LLC to Messias Pedro or nominee, subject to all other terms and conditions in the land disposition agreement, and authorize me to execute a certificate of approval to be recorded. Is that motion good for anyone? John?
Did the LTA have a job quantity in it?
Have a what?
Job.
The job, yeah.
Ah,
Number of jobs, yeah.
right.
John, you made that motion?
I move we approve what you just said.
Okay. And second, please? Second by Joan.
Was it DevCon?
DevCon is selling it.
Yes.
DevCon 3?
No, don't go that far.
LLC, DevCon LLC.
Please don't go that far.
That's a strange name.
It is.
So
Yeah.
the owner of the purchaser.
Right, Messias.
Messias.
She is so very good.
He actually owns Red's Dairy at
Yeah.
the top of Reagan Avenue.
Yes.
He also owns one on Broadway and in Somerset. So he's a well-experienced owner of these types of properties. And he does it, if you look at his properties, they're meticulous, well-kept.
Yeah, very cooperative too. All in favor, aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. John, will you take care of that?
Yeah, well, you can sign that at the end of the meeting, Joe, I'll get it with you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, next steps is what I have here. Oh, City Pier. I missed it.
Right.
City Pier, 600 Duval Street. Next steps.
So one proposal we want to bring to you is, we had put in the bid documents an ad alternate. We only had one for geo-reinforced turf grass system, so that the food trucks that we expect to have there
Oh,
can
yeah.
pull up onto the grass, especially if you've had a lot of rain. Having that reinforcement really protects your grass. And so I wanted to tell you that we had a range of, so each bidder put in an amount that they assigned to that piece of work. And MAS was the lowest at 6,500, and the highest was 51,700. So, and they ranged. There was another that was 9,000, a couple that were 22, 24. So we think the 6,500 is a really good number, and we always hope to be able to include that, because we think that it will give us a lot more flexibility. Given that we now have more of a cul-de-sac than as large a driveway as we had originally planned, that will be especially useful if we have a big event and we really have a lot of vehicles that we need to put somewhere.
And fortunately, MAS is the general on this anyway, so
Right,
that
so,
just makes it easier too.
yeah, so, you know, we asked them to bid and say what would it be to have them do that, and it's really a good number.
Okay. Well, then, I think we should entertain a motion to approve the add-on now, so we can include that in the work.
Yep.
Is there a motion to include that?
I move we
John?
approve the 6,500.
All right.
What are we calling it?
It's add alternative. Oh, geo-reinforced turf grass system. I don't know. I guess it's what she said.
It was called lots of different things
Yeah.
during the planning process.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah, I don't care what they call it.
It is green, right?
It is green, yeah, yeah. You can
Well,
land
it's
it.
under everything. I
Oh,
don't-
it's under the.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see it.
Oh,
It's
even
what-
better.
It will be under the grass, and it just protects,
Under the grass.
yeah,
Protects the grass roots where it stands.
yeah.
All right.
Because-
I have a first, is there a second to the approval? Oh, did you give me a second? No.
I'll second.
Louise, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so moved. Oh, groundbreaking celebration. I
Yes.
think that might be over the top. Celebration?
No, it is a celebration.
All right,
You
okay.
have worked so hard to get to
Okay, it
this
is a
point.
celebration, all right.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking. So what did you have in mind? Because I didn't.
Oh, well, you know, just our press conference.
Oh, okay.
And, you know.
Do you have
if
a
it were-
date?
If it were up to me, I would have food and all kinds of things,
Oh,
but, but we agreed that.
Well, it doesn't mean we can't.
Right.
Okay. Well,
So-
it's on the agenda, and I didn't know
Yeah.
if you had a date already, or...
Oh, well, the two potential dates are the 18th of August and the 25th of August. Those are fine for the mayor. Sid is holding them. and there are entire days available. We have sent those to the Lieutenant Governor's office, who I thought originally had said she would send us dates.
Correct.
Then she said she would rather we send her potential dates. So those are 2 Wednesdays. And what's good about them is we've confirmed that we can have the construction sign up by the 18th, assuming we get it all designed in the next couple of days, which has proved to be more of a challenge than I realized. But
We'll get it done
we're
in the next
getting it
couple of
done.
days. We will.
So that all seems to work. And I'm wondering if that's a date that works for all of you, the 18th or 25th, 2 Wednesdays. No,
I'm not here the 18th, I'm in Philadelphia.
that's right.
Both 2 weeks?
I'm at a conference in Philadelphia the 18th.
Oh, that's right. You had told me that in relationship to that other
Right,
effort.
right, but, you know, if it works for the rest of the
Oh,
crowd.
no, we don't really
You know,
do it without you.
if the lieutenant governor reigns on this one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
you know
important
what, whatever
person.
she comes up
Yep,
with.
exactly.
Well, I had asked Sid to give me more dates because there's not magic about those. No, he's just available all day those 2 days. And I really asked her to give me more dates. And she said, we'll see how those 2 work.
No, get more dates
So we
then.
already know the 18th isn't good.
No,
So
well,
we
let me
need to
ask you
get
though,
that.
would it be morning or afternoon? Let's try to be a little more specific.
They like to do it in the morning.
Yeah,
There you go.
that was my
Okay, so now it's
assumption.
morning.
Unless, of course, they've got something else happening and they want to tag it on to the
Yeah, that's true.
lunchtime or
Right.
something. So sometimes it helps to leave them flexibility like
Well,
that.
this is really unofficial. It's discussion relative to the groundbreaking. We know it's going to happen in August. We don't have it pinned down yet as to
Right.
the date. Maybe you can get more dates?
Yep.
But you've already given the lieutenant governor those 2 dates?
Well, I just said, here are 2 potential dates the mayor can do. Do these dates work for you?
Well,
You
why
know.
don't you take off the word potential and just use the word, these are the 2 dates?
Oh,
And then
because
they
I
can-
didn't want to be telling her they were the 2 dates because I knew that one of you might not be able to make them.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, I want to keep it open until we're sure that we really have everybody.
Okay.
And is there anything else that might prevent any of you? You know, is there a trip
No.
or anything that I really should be planning around?
Plus, we have it in the morning.
You
Yeah,
want it
as
in
long
the
as you're
morning?
in the morning. Any morning
Oh,
should be good.
because you have afternoon issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so.
25th, the 18th, that doesn't matter.
Well, the 25th is our
Oh.
RDA meeting, so I don't think we should do it at that
What?
day. The RDA meeting is the 25th?
I know, it would be an intense day.
Yes, I mean, that's fine.
So you want more dates. But,
If we
so
can.
we could do the morning of the 25th, you're saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
And, you know, it would mean that
You
you
good?
would be tired by our meeting.
What were you gonna say?
So the 25th works again?
Yeah, well,
The morning.
Oh, so we,
but
I
then
don't-
you,
I don't need to be there, it's like that.
Oh, of course you want to be there. You have to be
well,
there.
if he can, he can.
It's like, they're more important people than myself to be there. trust me.
So I will get more dates.
Yeah,
I will
more
send
dates,
them
but
to you.
if the 25th works and we can pin it down to the 25th, when do we
just
do
pin
it?
it down.
Well, let's see if the lieutenant governor can do it.
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
saying, but she
Yeah.
has those 2 dates, so
Yep.
let's work,
Okay,
let's
so-
work toward the 25th.
Okay,
You won't have to,
great.
all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Groundbreaking.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
so Paula and I have a question that you may just think we're crazy, but I meant to bring my mug from one of my developments down here and I forgot it on my desk. But, you know, we're trying to really promote how exciting this is and get word out. Would you consider wanting mugs with the picture of the pier on it, the rendering? That will be on the construction sign. Would that be useful in being out in the community and being able to say, you know, look what we're doing, I brought you a mug?
I like that, but the picture is important.
Oh,
like,
it's
well,
critical.
first of all, I didn't like the first picture we
Right.
saw on
We're-
the sign. That picture wouldn't work.
Right, we're
But,
working
but
on
a
another
good picture of the finished product would be
Yeah.
I think it would be a good idea.
Okay, so we can get 144
You
from,
looked into it.
from a company on Airport Road,
Oh, good.
and it would cost us around $350. And I'll send some of you pictures as
Well,
we get there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so
that's fair.
why don't we make a motion to allow Sarah to order those
Great.
up to $350. Somebody want to make that motion?
I move we move on the mugs.
Move on the mugs.
Second.
Second by Joan. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
My organization's always did mugs, so.
Mugs? You must have a lot of them then.
Yeah, I don't think I kept them all, but I found one the other day as I was cleaning out
That's
my
what
house
reminded
and
you.
thought, these were useful. Good.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Number 6, project updates. Sarah and Ken, whenever
Right.
needed.
So the Bank Street Armory, we are supposed to get the appraisal early next week, and I really hope that that's a firm date. And,
Have you maintained contact with the proposed buyer?
I need to contact him again.
Please.
I have stayed in touch with him a couple of times,
Okay.
and I'll let him know where we are, because we are past where I told him we would have the appraisal.
Yes.
So I will be in touch with him. Appraisers are contacting us about the 45 Anawan Street Liberty property appraisal, and the word is out, and I would love for you to suggest more appraisers, and I know Joan has a number that I need to get, and Mark Freyas said that he's looking at it and will consider it. I didn't send it yet to Bernie, since I'm waiting for
Yeah,
the
okay.
appraisal.
Good
I
idea.
didn't want to cross messages with him.
Right.
And so that's about it for Anawan Street, except that we got some information from Beta that showed that the environmental work they're doing is not at all where Beta thought they would be at this point, and again confirmed how slowed they are. And so we need to keep our eye on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, the community planning and urban renewal plan, the RFP is out on that. Bids are due on August 9th. I'm going to get back to all of you, but I think we can confirm a meeting for Friday afternoon, the 13th. And if that still works for people who said it worked a while ago, I've been trying to find out if everyone could do that. So I'll be back in touch tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
And then there isn't too much new to report on collaborations on projects in the TDI district. We're working along with a number of consultants, the TDI partnership and city folks. Mike Dion and Bill Kenny and I are all kind of staying up on the work that they're doing, planning for a variety of pieces of improvement, of potential streetscape improvements that could be funded with various ARPA money, state money. So there will be a report on all of that in September, and they're talking about using this room, the atrium, and having big boards up and being able to really talk about the various different recommendations and where those are going.
Okay.
And I will say one thing about Route 79 and then pass it to Ken, who's going to give an update. Tomorrow there is a walk audit being done by Walk Boston and Mass Inc. And I have done those before. They can be very helpful We really encourage them to focus on the area around City Pier, the new train station, and Route 79 changes, and look at connections and safety, and, you know, it's hard to conceptualize, but through Bill Kinney, we got plans from Mass DOT, and people are going to go out there and look at that. And then one of the things that's good about Walk Boston is they usually get a neighborhood involved. So it might help do some outreach with the neighborhood to talk about, you know, we know that they were part of Mass DOT planning early on, but it would be good to reconnect with people.
Who's assuming responsibility for that?
Well, Sarah Labossiere, who's the complete streets person for the city and the public health department, was the one contacted, and so she's coordinating it with Walk Boston. And Walk Boston is a really good organization that is good at doing these. And, you know, they can be helpful sometimes in getting money because you can cite the walk audit as one of the ways that you've determined something is needed.
What time is that being done?
We're meeting at 11 o'clock. Well, actually, Joe, we're just having a planning meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
We're actually doing a walk audit down the road. So people are coming down from Boston to look around. And we're meeting, though, at 11 at Almax and going to go from there. And you would be most invited if you would like to come.
So
But
it's only
Jeff-
the planning meeting, though?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a
Yeah,
planning meeting.
yeah.
I'm just knowing that we're going to be walking around. We'll start kind of thinking about this. But yes, when we actually do the walk audit, I'll make sure you all know.
Yeah, please.
Great.
And Ken, you lived through this since it started, so it looks like it's getting close.
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you feel that way too, or you felt like that way 5 years ago?
We had a meeting with MassDOT probably 3-4 weeks ago, maybe the end of June. And we're starting to get into some nitty-gritty design issues. MassDOT had a stakeholders meeting in May where they presented some things to the general public. It was a Zoom meeting, people participated. And in that meeting in May, they said they were going to have a public informational meeting in July, and there was going to be a 25% design completion date in July. So July is coming and going, and we don't have a meeting. So I emailed them Monday, yesterday, what day is today, Wednesday? Maybe on Monday saying, hey, where are we? You know, we're quickly approaching the end of July. We're supposed to have this public information meeting. They're supposed to get back to us with the status of the 25% design. And at the next meeting, be prepared to answer the question as to when we fully expect a construction contract to be issued for this project, and also a construction stop date. I said, that's going to be imperative, and I said, essentially, people are getting restless, and we need to know that. Okay, because there's a lot of private investment contingent upon that taking place, contingent private investment in and around the surrounding area that want to see this project happen. And once they can commit to a construction date, that'll help alleviate any questions as to whether or not the project is real. That in conjunction with the commuter rail being open in 2023. So it's really time to hold their feet to the fire, right, to get these dates locked in, because part of my concern, and unfortunately I've seen this happen, we got an administration, a state administration that's there now that is fully committed to this project. They committed $100 million, okay? It's an election year next year. If there's a change in the governor's office or there's a change wherever, sometimes these projects fall by the wayside unless they're locked in. So that's why we got to lock this thing in now for a contract to be issued in 2022. So we're locked in. so they can't, it's too big to fail, is that some sort of?
Yeah, they use that, yeah.
That's what we want to get this thing done now, so that even if there's a change in administration, the project still moves forward, as opposed to being ambiguously out there and subject not to moving forward and the rescission of, the money that's committed to this thing. So, the next meeting, I think, people should attend, and I think people should specifically request, when is the contract going to be executed? We gotta lock it up.
Sarah, can you keep us advised when the next meeting is?
Do you know?
We don't know, I'm sorry.
No.
I just checked my email before,
Yeah.
just to see if they got back to me. They're usually pretty good at getting back to me.
Yeah.
And I actually, what I did is I took the last page of their PowerPoint, which I did next steps, and I
Good.
circled that area, saying, okay, we're supposed to have a meeting, where are we?
We're on the last page.
And because we slide, right?
Yeah.
A little slippage turns into a lot of slippage when you continue to slide.
Great. So you'll let us know in 10 minutes?
Yeah, Karen will let me know and I will let you know.
Good. All right, thank you for that. Any other questions of Ken or Sarah on those issues? No? No? All right. I, as chair, going into executive session or requesting to go into executive session. I, as the chairman of the Redevelopment Authority, make a finding that an open session would have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. I'll entertain a vote to enter into executive session for the below real estate item on the agenda and approve the June 30th executive session minutes and not to return to open session. Is there a motion for that order?
Yes.
Joan, second?
Second.
Joe, roll call vote on
Okay, thank you, John. Hadn't heard that in the whole meeting, thank you. Second, John, you second that, okay. All in favor, Joe?
Joan Barris, yes.
Joe Marshall, yes.
Ms. Gonzalez, yes.
Anthony, yes.
Okay, so moved, thank you. We are now in executive session.